Good morning, good morning. Hey, wake up, my 2020 survivors. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. We're all in our spaces with sun shining faces. Oh, this is the way to start a new day. Good morning. Get up, y'all. Get up. Yeah, this is Shahid Isafine. Back again with what's the tea of the day? Yeah, I got mine right here. Y'all got yours? Yeah, today is Friday morning, so I'm ending it out with my. Here it is. My lemon singer. Celestial tea. Yes, and this one is caffeine free. But you know what, y'all? I think I'm going to stop showing it for the whole week. I just show it on Mondays. Because when I look back on my videos, it looks like sometimes, it looks like it's the same video except I have one of different clothes or whatever. But I think I'm only going to show it the first day. And then I'll just tell you what it is. And start Monday. Well, each Monday, hopefully, I'll have another tea. Oh, this is nice and hot, just the way I like it, too, yeah. This is the lemon. I gotta get me some lemons. I like to put lemon in my tea, especially the lemon tea. I might have one in there, see? Just want to show y'all the tea bag so you know I'm really drinking tea. Yeah. But today, or this morning, I wanted to talk about when renting a room to someone, or maybe they sleeping on the couch, whatever. But sometimes you try to help people out because they're going through bad times or whatever, and you let them come into your home a couple weeks, maybe even a couple months, trying to help them to get themselves together and move on and possibly get a place of their own. If it's someone that's going through a domestic violence situation, the first thing I would try to do, if that's what they wanted, if they realize that they're in a domestic violence situation, first thing I would do is try to get help for them. I would have them to call the hotline number, possibly try to get them into a shelter, and help them to try to get a protection order, a criminal complaint, whatever it is that they need. Now, when you're dealing with someone that's in a domestic violence situation, say it might be a family member or a real close friend or even your neighbor. So 9 times out of 10, the abuser knows where you live. He knows that you're a family member or a close friend or whatever, neighbor. So your house is going to be one of the first places he's going to look for her. So that's going to be a very dangerous situation. So that's why I said if the person is fleeing from a domestic violence situation, the first thing I would try to do is, like I said, get help for them through a domestic violence organization and possibly get a shelter, and they'll take it from there, and help that person. Because if the abuser knows where you live and he comes in looking for her, then that's bringing danger to your house. So if that was to occur, and the person is still in your home, maybe because you haven't gotten them to the office or to a shelter as of yet, or Whatever the case may be, they may still be at your house or they may not be, but the abuser thinks they are because he knows that you're close with this person. So if this happens and the abuser was to come to your house, I advise you just not to open the door. If he acts out of hand, just, holler through the door. If you don't leave, I'll call the police, or, holler upstairs like you're calling for your husband or your boyfriend. But do anything to try to avoid the abuser. And if it really gets out of hand and he tries to bust in, you don't let him in or whatever, he tries to bust in, then you have no alternative but to call the police. But in other cases, if it's someone just down on their luck, maybe lost a job or don't have a job and homeless for whatever reasons, and you give them a place to stay, have them to sign a contract. If you're charging them anything by the week, every 2 weeks, by the month, if you're charging them every week, there's a fifth week in some of these months, and we got about 2, maybe 3 months, they got 5 weeks. So you make it clear that you also have to pay on that fifth week because, there's 5 weeks in this particular month. You, just discuss what part of the rent, if any, or bills that they are responsible for. Let them know when it's due, the 1st of the month, the 5th of the month. You have 3 days, 5 days before a late charge is attached. Also let them know how much of a late charge would be charged if they're late. If you're renting them a room in your house, I'm talking about if you move in with someone else in their home, not if you're renting a private home from someone or even buying a home. I'm talking about if you rent. That's different than if you're renting a house and living there by yourself or with your people. And if you're actually living in a home with the renter, so it's going to be somewhat little different rules. It needs to be discussed if the tenant is supposed to also contribute to some chores. Maybe if it's a man renter, you would like for him to maybe take out the trash. You would discuss the person cleaning up behind themselves, not using the dishes and then putting it in the sink for someone else to wash. They should clean up behind themselves. Of course, if the person doesn't have a room and they have to sleep on your couch, it would be a little cheaper than if they had their own room. You need to discuss if they can have company or not. And if so, if they have their own room, is company allowed in their room? How late you can have company? How late you can even come in? I mean, it sounds like an awful lot. But the way I see it, everybody has their rules in their home. They're helping you. So you must either accept the rules or move on. The same way if you have your own, you would want a person to abide by your rules. You also have to discuss whether alcohol or smoking cigarettes is allowed in your home. They need to know all these things, so in the end they cannot say, oh, you didn't tell me this and you didn't tell me that. Make sure you have them to sign the contract and you also signed the contract. I took notes because I didn't want to forget anything. I probably forgot a lot. So it said, have a signed contract. Discuss what part of rent or bills you're responsible for, or they're responsible for. Discuss chores. Is meals included? If meals are included, you know, your part of the money would probably be a little higher because meals are included. If they are, then you got to specify whether it's okay for them to go into the food, or, you know, as you cook, you will prepare their plates, or, you know, you got to discuss. And if meals are not included, then clear out a space in their refrigerator and in the cabinet so that they will have somewhere to put their foods. They can put their names on their food, so it won't be no problem that way. You know, just try to keep the drama down as much as you can. So, can they have one part of the... discuss whether there's no weapons allowed in your home. You know, you got to discuss all these things. And that's all I can think of. Oh, also, make sure when a tenant pays you that you give them a receipt each time. And renters, make sure that you get a receipt and you keep your receipts, because if something was to occur and either you had to sue them or they had to sue you, then you would have receipts to show what you paid or what you didn't pay or what have you. So it's good to keep receipts. It's good to have a signed contract so you know exactly what to expect. And before that, you even sign that contract, it's good to go over this stuff thoroughly so you can make up your mind, even if you are homeless. Do you really want to stay here? Do you really want to go through all that? You know? And if you know the rules and what's to be expected, then it can't be no, you didn't tell me this, you didn't tell me that. Because a lot of times a person will come into your home and a problem occurs and they'll try to blame you. They'll say it's your fault. And if they're paying you, they'll say, well, I'm helping her. They feel as though they're helping you because they're giving you a couple of dollars or whatever. And they feel as though that they're helping them. A couple of dollars more is a little help, but they're not thinking about the fact that there's extra water being used. There's extra electric being used. They're using your Wi-Fi, looking at your cable, and sometimes eating your food and weighing your furniture down. But they think that they're helping you, so, you know. I don't get it. Sometimes you can help people out of the kindness of your heart, and they kick you in the butt. And if the person doesn't have a job, and they move into your home until hopefully they're trying to find one or whatever the case may be, they don't have a job, they don't go to school. Maybe you're working, or you have a husband or boyfriend out working every day, or both of you are working every day. But this person is just laying around, looking at TV all day, eating, sleeping, while you and yours are out in the snow and the heat, getting up 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning and going out to work. They're sitting back chilling. As soon as you say something to them, then they're offended. they are offended. They might bring up something they did for you 10 years ago. So I just wanted to give y'all that little bit of information. I just wanna tell you. And it's best to tell people from the start, because sometimes when it comes to the money part of it, you don't give them receipts or signing contracts and all that, because you're figuring, oh, well, they're family, they're a good friend or what have you, and I ain't got to worry about them, they're going to pay me, or that ain't going to be no problem. But like my mom always said, you never know a person till they move in with you. And it's very, very rare when two people can get along in one house. So when you do find it, if it does happen, don't let it go. Hold on to that, that friendship or relationship, whatever, can last forever. But, just to be on the safe side, just make sure you have a signed contract. You discuss everything before the person even moves in or before you even say it's okay. So there won't be no problem, no disagreements. You know what I'm saying? So I found this book on Mother Teresa. It's called Women of Our Time, Mother Teresa, Sister to the Poor. And I found this at the library. I went to the library one day to get some things faxed. And I found this book there. I'm always picking up books. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be, but I still love my books. Now, what I decided to do, for those who may want to hear, it's not that many pages at all. It's about 50-something pages. And each day until it ends on my, what's the tea for the day? Each day till it ends, the book, the story, I'm going to read a small portion. And it only has 57 pages. So today I'm just going to start off reading the back. And it says, Women of Our Time. Mother Teresa is known as the Saint of Calcutta, the nun who has cared for the starving and homeless and nursed the sick and the dying. When others would not help them by working with just one person at a time, the person closest to her, she has made a difference for the poorest of the poor. Mother Teresa received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979. And today her work reaches millions of needy people throughout the world. I remember, some years ago, I can't quite remember what year it was now. I'll look it up or what have you, but I know she came to the town, to the city I was born in, and she was right up the street at the hospital, Sacred Heart Hospital, right up the street from where I lived at the time. And we all went up to see her, of course she was on the outside speaking to the people and all. I'll never forget that time, even though I forgot the year, but I'll figure it out. So, Praise for Women of Our Time, a unique new biography series. So this series answers the constant need for more biographies of completeness and quality. So that tells you a little bit about our Mother Teresa. For those who don't know anything about her, maybe never even heard of her, but she's always helped the sick and the poor and the homeless. Now let me see how much is on this one before I decide to read it today. Chapter. So, I'm going to read a chapter, and that will be it. But before I do, because you know how I do with these videos, I want to tell everybody to stay covered up, stay out the way. You know, we're going to get through this. We got through this year. We're going to get through this year. Things are looking better. It's taking time, but it's beginning to open up. It's beginning to look a little better. We just got to keep our prayer. We got to keep our prayers going. We got to have our hope. Without hope, you know, there's nothing. So stay covered up, y'all. Covered up. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Look at these videos all the way through. And I love you, and I hope you love me too. So, I'm going to read through this, and then I'm going to sign out. Chapter 1, I must do something. It was a summertime wartime in Beirut, Lebanon. 37 children were caught in the war. They huddled on the hospital floor in the heat. Some of them were mentally retarded, and some were sick, and most of them couldn't walk. Bombs had shattered the windows, blown away a corner of the hospital. The children could hear the guns and smell the smoke. Then, above the noise was another sound, the sound of motors. 4 trucks with red crosses painted in the sides brake to a stop in front of the hospital. And y'all, that's all I'm going to read until Monday. And I'll come back with more, and I'm going to keep you in suspense for those of y'all who are interested. With that being said, I just want to say I love you. I hope you love me too.